What's going on, guys? Shining Owl here, and today we're talking about Halo Combat Evolved. But before we get into it, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the like button and the sub button. Even though I just said that, repeating myself. Yeah. So, Halo Combat Evolved, the first game in the amazing franchise that is Halo. And after all these years, or should I say, after these 20 years, does it hold up? Yes. Yes, it does. First, talk about the enemies, because it's the first game to introduce all of them. First, you got the grunts. Tiny little cannon fodder that you can just down pretty easily. And this was before they got the power to become suicide bombers. Then you got the elite. Elite cannon fodder. They can shoot fast and deal a lot of damage. Then you have the jackal. They got shields and they try to shoot you. Then you got the hunters, which are really strong and good. But then you remember that they die in one single pistol shot in this game. So you can just go, pop. Hunter is dead. Then you have the Flood, with three forms. The combat form being the worst combat form in my opinion. Mainly because it can just stand up whenever it feels like, bring itself back to life. And, I don't know, just, they're really weird. Then you have the infection form, which is just tiny little infection form that tries to run up and infect you. Pretty simple. Then you have the popcorn flood, aka the carrier forms. That when they fall down, they explode, dealing damage to you, and releasing popcorn flood. All in all of the enemies are still really popular and really well loved today. Great design of all of them too. Then you have the weapons. Almost all solid, with the best iteration of the plasma rifle there is, considering the plasma rifle has, gone downhill in Halo to say the least. The vehicles are all fine, considering there's like 3 that you can drive in game. You have the Warthog, the Banshee, and the Ghost. Warthog is the all-around Warthog, you know the Warthog. The Ghost, you can ram people with it, except it doesn't have the boost in Combat Evolved, so it's not nearly as good as the other games. And the Banshee is the flying Covenant vehicle. You know, the story in Combat Evolved is probably one of the simplest in the series, being the Pillar Bottom's under attack from the Covenant. After fighting your way off of the ship with Cortana, you land on the Halo Ring. There, you round up some Marines and then save Cortana. Saving Captain Keyes. Once Captain Keyes is saved, you assault on the control room, capture it, then you have to go save Captain Keyes from the Flood, but it's too late, because they're already out. Then you march through the library, grab the index, go back to the control room, get betrayed by Guilty Spark, in the level 2 betrayals where there's only one betrayal. But I guess the second betrayal is naming the title 2 betrayals, when there's only one betrayal in the level. Hit the power generators, go to Captain Keyes, grab his chip for where the Pillar of Autumn is. Escape, blow up the Pillar of Autumn, destroying the Halo Ring. And that's the end of the game. Pretty simple, pretty short and sweet, nice to eat. The difficulty in Combat Evolved, I feel like, is the one that scales the best. Because on easy, it's, easy with a good little bit of challenge. On normal, it feels pretty normal. It's kind of hard compared to the other games, but it's still a blast. I haven't played on Heroic or Legendary, but from what I've heard about Halo, and just in general, of Combat Evolved especially, is that Combat Evolved has a very good difficult scaling that games like Halo 2, 3, and the rest didn't really do as well on. Apparently Infinite's fixing that. One thing that is a little finicky is the melee button now. So when you go to melee an enemy, it just feels a little weird. but that can be forgiven from time. Let's talk about the power-ups in this game. You got the invisibility and the overshield. Overshield, well, gives you more shield, and invisibility makes you invisible. So something Combat Evolved did that other games didn't do is make it so that some enemies have specific weaponry weaknesses. Like example, like I showed earlier, the hunters are elite to the pistol and the sniper rifle. One tap to the back kills them. But then the Flood are immune to the sniper rifle, and I think they're weak to plasma weapons and the shotgun. Then elites, overcharged plasma pistol is their weakness, and there's the way they did kind of type matchups for the guns. It's really weird considering it's the only Halo game to really go hard into it. Like if you snipe a Flood in Halo 2 or 3, they'll die from it. Well, they won't. They might not die in the first shot, but they will die eventually. But in Halo Combat Evolved, they're just invincible, which really sucks when you're sniping Flood from a distance. Not Flood from a distance. When you're just sniping enemies from a distance, and then a horde of Flood comes, and you have a sniper rifle and a rocket launcher, so you can't really do anything besides just blow them up. Speaking of the rocket launcher, it feels nice, and the rocket Flood are kind of garbage. They can just kind of just one shot you whenever they feel, but if you're lucky, they'll hit the wall right next to them and kill themselves. The characters in Combat Evolved are pretty good. You got Master Chief, the introduction of the main man, the man with the plan, the man that needs a weapon. Then you got Cortana, the AI with the smarts. Then you got Captain Keyes, the captain that's not messing around. Great character, and it is sad that he dies, but Miranda Keyes does carry on in Halo 2 and 3. Then you got Sergeant Johnson, who's not a main character, but he's technically still a character. He's just a regular Marine that you find in some levels. And, well, yeah, that's Johnson. Combat Evolved does have cool moments, but unlike the previous games, they're not really stand out per se. They're just kind of just cutscene. The best level in the game is indeed Silent Cartographer. And if not the best level in all of Halo, I mean, Infinite might change that, but who knows. Because it's kind of open with how you go about it. How many yawns have I had in the past couple videos? You can go around any order you want. You can go up the mountain, you can go down the mountain. It's all great. Another thing about Combat Evolved is that the enemy AI is so smart for the time. Like, they can still, they're unique and diverse, and they're not idiots, except if they're rocket launcher Flood, but that's part of the Flood. And there's also 343 Guilty Spark as a character, whose introductions in this game, along with everyone else. And he's fine. Honestly, I think Halo 2 did his character best. 3, I feel like he changed him a little bit too much. And then C, he's kind of just a generic villain for a little bit. After boss fights, there are no boss fights in Halo Combat Evolved, besides occasional hunter encounters. Now, something about Combat Evolved I have to talk about is the Combat Evolved Hoggers. The Combat Evolved Warthog run. It's great. It's jam-packed, intense, got the great music, great shortcuts, great everything. And honestly, it's still really fun. And the scene where Bonehammer dies is sad, but then on repeat playthroughs, you just find yourself just driving straight on through. Plus, that little section makes the anatomy of the ship not make a lot of sense, considering there's just a gap in the middle of it. That's seems like a safety hazard, and for space travel, that doesn't make a lot of sense. All in all, Halo Combat Evolved is a really good game. It's aged fantastically, And just because I don't have a lot to say on it, doesn't mean it's not that good. It just shows that I can't put into words everything in the game. Everything is set up. The one line just mentioning Reach. The book that came out just before it, that was Reach. The lore that was just there, but hadn't been explored yet. The creativity of a brand new franchise yet to fully blossom. Comet Evolved is all those things. And more. Then you have multiplayer. It's really fun. Capture the Flag and stuff with Joe Stein, Sticer, just this guy as the announcer is great, and it just shows how Combat Evolved laid the groundwork for probably one of the greatest FPS of all time, if not the greatest FPS series of all time. If you ignore that there's a fifth one in the series. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next time. Where it's time to fight for Reach. Peace.